The accused killer of Cleveland Police Officer Jamison Ritter was back in court today.
A judge deciding whether he's mentally fit to stand trial.
Keith Grant was at the hearing today where that was decided.
Delonte Hardy has spent the last year undergoing treatment so that he can reach competency to make it to trial and not have his case dismissed. Officer Jamison Ritter was shot and killed on July 4th, 2024. He was looking for Delonte Hardy, who had allegedly killed his grandmother. Hardy shot at officers, hitting Ritter, who later died. At the center of Thursday's hearing, a new state law, which the Ritter family advocated for in February.
And all we're asking is for justice to be served so that he can be restored without any time frames.
This bill closed a loophole Hardy exploited. He refused medication for months while in treatment, drawing out the time until his case could be dismissed, which was about 1 year. The bill closes that law, and he now has 3 years to reach competency for trial. The defense says that extra time shouldn't apply to Hardy since his crime happened before it was signed. The judge says otherwise.
I just don't see that nobody's been able to point to anything that shows that that's a constitutional right that's been impinged here.
Hardy didn't say anything over Zoom today. His attorneys now weighing the option to appeal Thursday's decision, the judge giving them more time to decide on that. Keith Grant, 19 News.